This is 7 News, the voice of the coast.
Tonight, staff running on empty as the healthcare crisis surges towards breaking point.
All eyes on the water with Port Macquarie to become central to marine operations.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, the hunt for an asylum seeker that's on the run, refusing to wear his tracker, and a truce between Hamas and Israel extended to release even more hostages.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. Chronic staff shortages continue to plague healthcare in the Coffs Clarence.
Hospital surgeons and nurses are running on empty as workforce shortages reach an all-time peak.
An unrelenting strain is taking its toll on staff at the Coffs Harbour Hospital.
Staff are not coping. A lot of staff are leaving.
The overtime budget blowing out as burnt-out nurses work multiple double shifts every week, trying to fill gaping holes in the work roster.
In any given ward, there could be 6 or 7 nurses or midwives short in that particular area. So to add that up across the campus is quite a big shortfalls.
More patients presenting to the ED unwilling to pay the rising cost of visiting their GP, adding to a serious bed shortage in both Coffs Harbour and Grafton, forcing cancellations in elective surgery.
So at the moment, I'm in discussion on my list as to which patients are going to be cancelled again.
Senior medical staff opting out, halving the surgical team, making it impossible to fill permanent rosters.
Well, doctors are leaving, we know that. We've lost one of our general surgeons because they couldn't get their time. We lost one of our orthopaedic surgeons.
Specialists regularly offered up to $4,000 a day to do locum work in hospitals elsewhere, an opportunity too good to refuse.
Every day it comes, and they offer us about 1.5 times to 2.5 times what we earn every day here.
New South Wales competing with Queensland Health, cancelling the vaccine mandates for hospital workers, opening the way for a return to work for well over 3,500 health professionals.
We know that we don't have enough doctors and other staff to be manning our hospitals.
Nurses crossing the border for better pay and improved work conditions.
I think a first-year nurse is about $5 an hour better off in Queensland than New South Wales.
The Australian Medical Association launching a safe hour audit to examine the impact of fatigue.
Fatigue certainly doesn't mix with high quality care, and we know that the risks of working in a high risk job like medicine or nursing is amplified when our workers are fatigued.
Liz Penny, 7 News.
The new Tweed Valley Hospital is set to open its doors by the middle of May next year. It'll provide state-of-the-art healthcare services. The $700 million plus project will benefit residents in northern New South Wales. More than 650 jobs have been created by the development. Finishing touches on the landscaping will be applied in the coming months. Hospital services will transfer to the new hospital when it opens, and that's happening on May the 14th.
A new marine rescue radio base hub has been established in the Hastings region. It means units across the North Coast will now rely on Port Macquarie radio operations out of hours.
Day one is the new radio base hub for the North Coast, and the Port Macquarie team is dealing with a vessel in trouble.
We have called the crew in for you and they are assembling now.
As Marine Rescue heads out to meet the vessel, good news, the boatie in trouble has been able to get their motor started.
We're heading back in at about 30 k's an hour at the moment. Everything's going okay so far.
15 minutes later and that boat has safely crossed the bar back into the Hastings River.
Thank you, PM 673. We will let our crew know. Glad you're home safely. Marine Rescue, Port Macquarie out.
You're logging off. Thanks for the coverage. Over.
This is just one of 84 assists conducted by the Port Macquarie radio base this year, many of them life-threatening. As of last night, the base has become a hub for the whole of the North Coast.
We have probably the largest number of radio operators, an amazing dedicated team, very knowledgeable, very skilled, and they do a fantastic job.
Every response unit operates 24/7, but when radio bases between Forster and Ballina, including Lord Howe Island, are out of hours, Port Macquarie will be stepping in to monitor boaties and, if needed, connect them with crews in their region.
We monitor all vessels that log on with us in and out of the river. They can be on the river or they can be offshore.
They're a vital lifeline, not just for emergency situations, but from a day-to-day basis. They are the voice that the boaters rely on.
Samantha Crowe, 7 News.
A comprehensive cancer centre is desperately needed on the Mid-North Coast, and while funding for a facility was announced in 2019, issues with the proposal have caused a delay.
A development application for a comprehensive cancer care centre in Taree was deferred by the Joint Regional Development Panel late last month.
There are a number of design issues, there's parking issues, there's streetscape issues, height, visual impact issues to the surrounding residential properties.
The deferral was given because of a recommended refusal by Mid Coast Council, giving the applicant time to modify the proposal.
We've had follow-up meetings to redesign the proposal to come up with essentially a development that fits all the planning requirements for that site.
Cancer survivors say this facility is vital. While some treatments are available in town, many patients have to travel to Port Macquarie, Newcastle and as far as Sydney for treatment.
But I was very close to having to go to Port for radiotherapy, and I don't know what I would have done because I run a business as well, and it would have been physically impossible. I would have had to have made it work.
Funding to develop radiation therapy treatment centres across regional Australia was announced back in 2019. Federal member for Lyne, Dr David Gillespie, says he's disappointed at the rate of progression in Taree.
Griffith got their $4.5 million grant the same time as we got it here. But in the Griffith Council, they've managed to approve it, it's built, and it's been operating for the last 3 months.
The amended development application will be submitted by December 15, with Council hoping to see an approval by February.
There's obviously a large need across the Mid-Coast community to have a centre such as this within Taree, and we want to do everything we possibly can to ensure that facility gets approved.
Hannah Hartup, 7 News.
The state government has made it easier for rural firefighters to protect our communities. The RFS will no longer need to seek permission from Transport for New South Wales to close roads in an emergency. Instead, they will only need to notify the department in an effort to reduce complicating factors during urgent times. The change comes as the state enters what is expected to be the most challenging bushfire season in years.
She's the third longest serving officer at Byron Bay Police Station. There's definitely something about Margaret Kerr that makes her stand out from the rest of the crowd.
From completing admin tasks to providing morning tea, Margaret Kerr is a mother figure to many at Byron Bay Police Station.
I do anything to keep the police out on the road, and I do all their filing, make sure I keep all their lists up to date.
At 84 years young, she has no intention of stopping anytime soon, despite volunteering for the past 22 years.
As long as I can get out of bed in the morning, I'll still be there.
Margaret has done more than 15,000 hours of police volunteer work. That equates to almost 9 years of full-time work over the last 2 decades. She started volunteering after the death of her son in 2000.
You've got to get up and do something, and at my age, as they say, if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
Her work was recognised earlier this month when she received the New South Wales Police Volunteer of the Year award.
Mind you, I don't do it for any accolations at all. I do it because I love it.
Detective Chief Inspector Matt Keogh says Margaret is an invaluable member.
Her benefit here to Byron Bay Police Station really is immeasurable, and we're very lucky to have her here.
He says volunteers are always needed to help officers carry out their daily tasks.
People can certainly get a lot of benefit out of helping the police and then helping the community.
But there is a station favourite when it comes to recipes and morning tea time.
They do a terrific sausage roll, homemade sausage roll, and a chocolate slice is out of this world.
Paul Jobber, 7 News.
An increasing missing pets on the Mid-North Coast is a timely reminder for owners to ensure their animals are microchipped.
A beloved family friend. Catherine's puppy Merlin has been missing now for over a week.
I'm very concerned about his welfare because he's a puppy, and because he's a puppy, he does what puppies do. He runs around the property and he's boisterous and he goes exploring, but he's never ever run away before. Merlin! Where are you, Merlin?
Merlin is one of many household pets in the Manning Valley that is currently missing, with an influx of online flyers showing just how many cats and dogs have disappeared.
And I've had such an overwhelming feedback from the social media posts that have been put on about my dog.
With an increase in numbers of missing pets, local vets are reminding people to ensure their animals are microchipped and that the information connected to the chip is up to date with the correct owner and address.
The microchips are very important because if they do disappear and they get found and taken someplace, like a vet or the council, yeah, you'll get them back. The microchip number is directly connected to them.
While the ultimate goal is to reduce these incidents, for anyone who finds an animal lost on the street, it is best to take them to your nearest vet or pound.
Have a wee look at it, check it's okay. If it's sick or injured in any way at all, get it to the vets. The vet will then check its microchip and will manage to contact the owner.
Hannah Hartup, 7 News.
Well, Kirsty is here now for a look at how today's weather stacked up right across the coast. And Kirsty, we did see some heavy showers about today.
We did, certainly in the north today, Nick and Maddie. Good evening, everyone. It was also a very muggy morning following those warm overnight temperatures and moist winds. We had significant downpours just before 6 last night. In Lismore, 45 millimetres fell in under 1 hour. Gloucester around the mid-north coast also recorded significant rain. We have had consistent showers in the far north into this morning as well. And then a second band of rain moved east across the northern rivers towards the coast around midday. Another more intense pocket of rain through again into the mid-afternoon. Parts of the Brunswick and Tweed regions have already seen 40 to 60 millimetres of rain, very heavy in some isolated areas. Temperatures today around the mid-20s, not a huge amount of an increase between our overnight lows and our daytime maximums, just a couple of degrees with winds swinging out of the southeast. A shower or two possible tomorrow, some storms likely once again, possibly becoming severe. I'll have that forecast shortly.
Thanks, Kirsty. We'll get the details from you in a few minutes.
Still to come in 7 News, the federal government set to crack down on the use of vapes.
And top honours for a Coffs Coast business despite a huge shortfall in volunteers.
And a little later on this news hour, a gunman on the run and a woman arrested for hindering police after a drive-by shooting. Plus, a detainee that's freed from immigration detention goes missing, and the Middle Eastern truce extended as more Israeli and Palestinian prisoners are released. The full details coming your way, 6:30 tonight. See you then.
Welcome back. Lifeline North Coast has won top honours at the Coffs Coast Business Awards, and that's despite a huge shortfall in volunteers. The award recognises its vital role in providing crisis support 24/7. Lifeline also offers financial counselling for those who are struggling to keep pace with the rising cost of living. Public demand for this kind of help is now at an all-time high, with the number of phone calls doubling.
People are needing our services more than ever in terms of calling up. They're anxious. They don't know how to pay their bills. So we do a lot of work with our counsellors here with Gamble Aware also.
Boosting volunteers is now a major focus, with numbers dropping by half since COVID. Lifeline offers a 12-month training program for phone counsellors. Other volunteer roles involve retail, assisting with community events and warehousing. And the phone service for Lifeline is always there. If you or anyone you know needs support, you can always call 13 11 14.
The federal government has released a timeline for its nationwide vaping crackdown. From January 1st, the first stage of the crackdown will include a ban on the importation of disposable, single-use vapes. From March, refillable non-therapeutic vapes will be banned from being imported as well. The new laws have some people fuming, but others are glad.
It's been proven countless times that vaping's not good for you. My partner works in the health profession, and certainly I couldn't come home vaping.
Makes it probably a little bit harder for all the little school kids to be getting into it.
The federal government warned in May that it would crack down heavily on regulating the habit.
The Northern Rivers Performing Arts Outdoor Theatre event has now wrapped up. Nearly 3,000 people enjoyed the 5 free performances. The event, called Flow, is described as a powerful First Nation story. It's a contemporary tale of a young man searching for identity in music, urban culture and nature. The ancient story acknowledges how and why water flows through the region and its cultural significance. Noppa lost its venue and the region lost their major performing arts centre in the 2022 floods.
Still to come in 7 News, the second day of the 2-person Ambrose State Finals hit the fairway at Bonville.
And a Rugby League Sevens Carnival wraps up a huge year in school footy. Welcome back. Mid-North Coast schools have hit the footy field today for the final high school gala day this year. The sport continues to grow in popularity at a grassroots level after a drop-off in numbers during COVID.
It's been a big year in junior footy with numbers for rugby league on the rise.
Participation is rapidly increasing within the school-based level. We're seeing a huge growth in the female space alongside the boys as well.
Today, 30 schools from across the Mid-North Coast took part in the Summer Sevens tournament, the last high school gala day for this year.
Having fun, enjoying a shorter version of the game and getting these boys and girls out here today for their final crack of rugby league in 2023.
It's hoped that extending play beyond the regular NRL season will help the momentum that's been building since COVID-19. It's also a chance to keep working on skills ahead of next season.
Definitely help out next year. All that, like practicing plays and all that, like practicing tackling and all that. Yeah, just good fun, good fun.
The Sevens format offering something different as well.
It's faster and you have more space to run stuff.
Days like today vital for showing juniors what's great about the game.
Teamwork.
It's just fun to play and good competition.
Being able to run around with my friends and playing footy.
MacKillop College took out the under-14s boys and girls as well as the boys under-16s. St Clair's took the win in the under-16s girls and Newman College secured the win in the boys' opens. Samantha Crowe, 7 News.
It was peak conditions on the green today for the state final of the Keno two-person Ambrose, a 36-hole contest at Coffs Harbour's Bonneville Golf Resort where anyone could claim the trophy.
A statewide process of elimination has narrowed a field of 13,500 golfers from 180 clubs down to just 39 pairs.
So there's a men's, a mixed and a women's category, and they competed over 13 different regional finals across New South Wales.
A South Coast team leading the charge in the mixed doubles after a stellar opening round.
We started with a bogey, but then we played 12 under for the next 17 holes, which was everything that went right for us. We had a great day.
The long Bonneville holes proving advantageous for some.
Yeah, but the hills help because the slopes, if you hit it a little bit off, the slope puts it back into the middle, which is really nice.
Casino heading into the final round well in front or 9 under with 11 birdies, losing some momentum early.
The putts aren't quite dropping as easily as they were yesterday, but we're starting to make a couple of birdies now.
The two-person format proving popular, almost doubling the numbers of participants from last year.
The prize is the trip. I mean, we're here to have, a good time, meet new people, and it's just a fantastic place. If we happen to win, fantastic.
Camaraderie is key. The finalists often competing in matching outfits. The game format allowing teams to come from behind, evening the playing field.
Like even if someone has a really good first day, it doesn't take the lower part of the field out because of the point system.
Liz Penny, 7 News.
Taree Aquatic Sailing Club held the New South Wales Saver Class State Championships over the weekend. 15 boats competed on the Manning River with sailors travelling from Newcastle, Sydney, Canberra and across the North Coast to compete. It was a very big day for the locals, with Troy Lewis finishing on top and securing the win, making it his 3rd state title in a row.
Still to come in 7 News, Kirsty's in with your local weather forecast. We'll see you in just a sec.
Welcome back, everyone. A low-pressure trough is triggering widespread showers and thunderstorms, some severe. This system drifting southeast tonight and into tomorrow, with wet weather increasing for eastern parts of New South Wales and Victoria. A second low-pressure system is likely to develop around the south coast into tomorrow morning, assisted by some strong onshore winds. Inland regions are expecting some reprieve through the end of the working week before a new trough spills more rain through northern New South Wales into the start of the weekend. Now, 6-hourly rainfall totals could reach 50 to 150 millimetres over the next 24 hours or so, mainly through central and southeastern pockets of the state. For our north coast, around 30 to 40 millimetres is likely as accumulative totals over the coming week or so. We could see some heavier falls, though, if thunderstorms develop. We are expecting mostly cloudy but dry and windy weather forecast tomorrow morning, ahead of afternoon showers developing and that chance of thunderstorms thunderstorms during the afternoon too. Tomorrow, the chance of severe thunderstorms will extend through the northern inland east towards our north coast. Damaging winds as well as large hail remain a risk. In terms of rainfall, at this stage, we're only expecting around 3 to 4 millimetres, but within those severe storms, we could see some localised heavy showers. 24 for Casino and for Lismore, while Evans Head can expect a top of 26. Offshore tomorrow, we will see seas increasing as we track further south, about 1.5 metres for Byron Bay to about 2.5 metres. A strong wind warning also in place for most of the coast, those winds hovering around about 30 knots. Into Thursday will be a sunny and settled day, a bit of a change heading our way along the coast. We're expecting those maximums to increase, returning to the 30s for many, along with some warm winds. In fact, the far north coast can expect a high fire danger rating on Thursday thanks to that combination of the heat and the gusty winds. Casino 33, Coffs Harbour 31 degrees. And Friday morning will be very similar, the start of the new month and of course the start of summer. Dry and clear, some breezy northwesterly winds. Conditions taking a bit of a turn in the afternoon and evening though, mainly near the Queensland border with a few scattered showers, guys.
Summer's almost here.
Sure
Thanks, Kirsty. See you later.
And that is all we have time for tonight. Thanks for watching. You can catch up on our website, or of course, at 7+.
Right now, though, Dan has your national news. Have a lovely night. See you again tomorrow night from 6 o'clock. We'll see you there.